Come on. Oh, I'm gonna get. There you are, Steven. There you are. I gotcha! Done. Blindfolded, hands tied behind my back. You're terrible, dude. You're terrible. Yeah, my dog, you know I love him. Yeah, good boy. Good morning, everyone. And I'm sorry you had to see that. I guess it wasn't really G-rated with how bad I just destroyed Stiven in Fortnite. With being blindfolded and my hands tied behind my back. Dude, I told you. You can't beat me. I told you. Yes, there is something different about me. I'm wearing contacts today and not glasses. Thank you for noticing. Thank you for noticing. Well, day 4, Schoolin with Doolen. What are we doing today? Hopefully you all had a great weekend. We're kind of getting through this, okay? Just keep on staying steady. I want to remind you, in the Google Classroom, the more comments that you guys do on the actual lesson, or you do separate comments each time, it's hard for people that are actually struggling to find out where they're actually doing stuff. So like when I get a notification that someone's asking a question saying, hey, this isn't loading, hey, the quiz isn't working, it's hard for me to be able to find out where their actual comment is because I'm scrolling so much because there's so many comments on just talking. So we either need to take those comments and start making our own little thing, which maybe I'll do that today. Maybe I'll make a little section for you guys to actually talk to each other in that sense, so that way the assignment is left for people that actually have questions or want to tell me what their score was or anything. Okay. So today we have 4.nbt.2, which is where we're talking about standard form, expanded form, word form, and going over the place values that we actually have. Since 4th grade is a little bit different than 3rd grade, obviously, because we're expanding by 3 more place values. So let me turn this camera around and we'll get going. Okay, make sure you have your notebooks out. So we've got 3 pages done so far. We've got our colors of our cars with 4.md.4. We got, I switched mine up, so I got my MBT.1, my 10 times greater that we did on Friday. Our sprinkler system for MD.4 again. So now we are on 4.nbt.2. Now, today is more about understanding everything involved with these places and to understand all of the words that are involved. Now, we did this in class way back near the beginning of the year, but we actually wrote down every single number possible, or every single word possible to make it from 1 to 100,000. We're going to do the same thing again today. We're going to do the same thing again today as a nice little refresher. But first, before we do that, we're going to look at every single place value that we need in 4th grade. So let's start over here on the right, okay? On the right, the smallest number that we are going to use is hundredths, okay? Which is going to be less than 1, which is going to be 1/100th if you're thinking of it as a fraction. So if you took a quiz with 100 questions, this would be getting one of those correct. So we have, I'm going to put H with a THS. Let me zoom in here for you. So that's hundredths. I'm going to separate it, and then I'm going to go tenths. That'd be like 1/10. Still less than 1, but greater than 0. Now, on this line right here, this is where I'm going to put up at the top a decimal. I know the decimal should go right here, but I want you to see that that is the decimal. Then we have our ones place, followed by our tens place, our hundreds place. And then what you went up to in 3rd grade is your thousands place. So we have 1, 10s, 100s, thousands. Now we added 3 more this year. Actually, just 2 more. Sorry, just 2 more. I was thinking about the thousands you guys didn't do. Just 2 more. We added the 10 thousands and the 100 thousands. And technically, our standard only says to go up to 100,000. So we're just getting the very first number in the 100,000s place. So there's patterns that we can see here when we're looking at numbers. All numbers are made up of patterns. So when we're looking at this, we have 1, 10, 100. 1, 10, 100. 1, 10, 100. Now this right here, why I'm saying is 1, 10, 100 again, because it's 1,000. So it's 1,000. It's 10,000. It's 100,000. So 1, 10, 100. 1, 10, 100. So if we were to keep on continuing for next year in 5th grade, we would have, okay, 100. So then we would have what? 1 million, 10 million, 100 million. Then 1 billion, 10 billion, 100 billion. And it keeps on going. This decimal right here, we can actually think about this like symmetry, and this is our mirror. And going this way, we start out with tens, hundreds, thousands. And then it goes tens, hundreds, thousands, tens, hundreds, thousands. Okay. All right. So here's our place values for 4th grade. These are all the place values you need to know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to write down every single number from 1 to 100,000. We're only going to be looking at those. We're not going to be looking at these tenths and hundreds right now. So starting out with our single digit numbers. And I'm going to write them underneath where these are. So I'm actually going to separate these a little bit more. Starting out in our ones place. The only numbers that we can have in the ones place are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically we can have 0 in the ones place, but we never say 0 when we're actually writing the word form of a number. So those are the words that we would say for all of our ones place. Now if we have the tens place, we could have 10, 11, 12, 13. Sorry about that, guys. My phone decided to stop. Sorry about that, everybody. My phone decided to stop recording, so I went through and did this whole thing, talking to nobody. So let's keep going. I think I was on number 14. So all this is just white out, so we're just going to go over the top of it. So next number we have is 14. And 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. And then 20. Now we're not going to go to 21 because we already technically have 21 here. We have 21. And we also have 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So I just have to write down my tens now, and I'll have everything up through 99. So I've got 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So I have from 1 all the way up through 99. So going to our hundreds place, the only word that I actually need is 100. And now I have every single word that's available all the way up through 999. 999. And going to the thousands place, I have 1,000. Now that actually lets me skip and go all the way from 1 to 100,000. 100,000. So if I were to take the number, let's say 98,473, we can actually write that number in just these words. So let's do that. Remember, in math we have periods. It's not the same as in reading. A period is not what you put at the end of a sentence. Okay, it's not the end of that, and it's not the same as a decimal either. A period is 3 consecutive numbers that are separated by a comma. So in this case, my first period is here, and then this right here is also a period because there's technically a 0 there. And we can't forget that we have a comma there, and that comma is telling us that that is the thousands place, or separating the thousands from the hundreds place. So when writing down numbers in word form, we need to look at these periods. This is the most important thing when changing from a number from standard form, which is here with the digits. So this number is in standard form, 98,473, to word form. We have to look at these periods. And this is the simplest way. But I'm circling these numbers outside of the decimal. So here's my 3. I don't have to worry about the 0. So what number is inside of this circle now? 98. So we would find that 98. And we can write that. 98. Now we're done with that period. We have to write down that comma. What is that comma? That comma is actually saying 1,000. So 98,000. And now my second period. What number is this? 473. So I'd go 400 70 3. And that's how we're able to take a number from standard form and make it into word form by using the places that they are in. Now there's one more thing that we have, and that's expanded form. Expanded form is when we're taking a number and we are breaking it apart based off of its place value. When doing this, if you're struggling with this, some people are able to see it, and that's cool. If you are struggling with it though, we need to remember how to set this up. So I'm gonna actually come over to this other page here, and we're gonna set up another chart that's gonna make it a little bit easier for us. And we'll just use our 1 through 100,000. We don't have to worry about the decimals here. So I'm gonna do my chart. I got ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. And I'm going to separate these. So when taking a number from standard form or word form and bringing it into expanded form, it's always best to try to get it to standard form first. So let me make this probably the toughest that you'll see. So I'm going to write down a number. So I've got a word form number, 78,609. We can still find the periods here because we know that the word thousand is going to be the comma. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle this word thousand, and underneath it I'm going to put a comma. So now we know that anything on either side of it has to be a period. So let me box to the left and let me box to the right. Whenever we see that word thousand right now, because we have thousands, we have millions, we have billions, but obviously we're not doing millions and billions in 4th grade. So whenever we see that word thousand, that's going to be where that comma is to separate the periods. So on this side, 609, how would we write it? 609. And on this side, we have 78, so I would go 78. So I have 78,609. That's going from word form to standard form. Now we got to expand it. We need to take those numbers and we need to break them apart. Well, let's put this into our chart here, starting from the ones place and going to the 100,000. So the ones is going to be a 9. Tens is a 0. Hundreds is a 6. Thousands is an 8. We don't put the comma there because the comma is just telling us where it is. The comma is actually here. And the 7 is in the 10,000s. So how do we take this number and make it into expanded form? We got to take these, we need to break them down and turn them into its place value. This 7 is actually 70,000. And let me show you how. I'm going to bring everything down one digit at a time. 7 is going to stay in the 10,000s place. And then the rest of them are going to become zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0. That's 70,000. And I'm going to do that for each of these digits in its place. So I'm bringing that 8 down. 0, 0, 0. Taking that 6, bring it down. Taking that 0, we can bring it down. We can bring it down just to make sure that we're not screwing anything up. And then 9 down. So now that we're actually seeing, this is the visual representation of what this number is in place value. This 7 is 70,000. That 8 is 8,000. That 6 is 600. And that 9 is just a 9. And when we do this, this is actually an addition problem. We would go 70,000 plus, so I'm going to check that off, I did that one, plus 8,000 plus 600. Do I need to write the zeros? No, if we add 0, we know it's going to stay the same number. So I'm just going to check it off right now, plus 9. That right there equals our 78,609. And that is how we do expanded form. So we have 3 forms. We have standard, word, expanded. Hey look, there's whiteout again. It's worse than when my phone rings in the middle of one of our lessons, and you all know how much I love that to happen, right? Alright. So, that's a tricky one. I finished off by saying we have 3 forms, standard, word, and expanded. I just want to define them quick. So standard form is when we see it in the digits, just like we do every single day. When you're usually looking at a number, you usually see it in digits. We usually see standard form. Word form is when it's written out. Then expanded form is when we are breaking it down by place value. Well, that is Schoolin with Doolen, day 4, lesson 4. Make sure you do your MasteryConnect. Everyone's in the same class, so there'll only be one code. And we'll see you next time. Peace.